Yes, we can.
Teacher, I can't hear you.
Fine. Better rejoin. Um, okay, 8 students are here. Let's start the class. No, just for you and then pass. Or if you did for all, then fine. Okay, yeah, we finished this. Last time we did this, and I just want to tell you the some of the examples of locating agents. Okay, for the locating agent, I told you that locating agents are the chemicals, and they are used for those chromatograms which are not showing colors. Okay, for any chromatogram on which the spots are invisible. So to make the spots visible, we use locating agents. Okay, so for some of the examples of locating agents, last time I forgot to tell you, for amino acid we use ninhydrin. Okay, ninhydrin is the name of a chemical and it is used for amino acid, to locate amino acids. So it reacts with the amino acids and they start showing different shades. Okay, so we'll put a spot of protein. Okay, perform chromatography on it. Then after the solvent has been risen till solvent from like till the point, till the end point, still we cannot, if we cannot see the colors of amino acid, then we'll spray on it, then the colors will start to appear. Okay, so ninhydrin is used for amino acids. Then we have iodine. Iodine, liquid iodine. Liquid iodine is used for starch. Okay, starch, different type of carbohydrates. So to locate different carbohydrates, we use liquid iodine. Starch will show brown color, like different shades of brown, yellow, orange, these type of colors. Okay, and one type of locating agent which is non-chemical, which is not a chemical, those are UV rays. Okay, ultraviolet radiations, they are also locating agents. Okay, sometimes we give radiations, and because of the radiations, the spots will show colors, they will glow. So this is a non-chemical locating agent. So please note them down. The examples, I think they are not mentioned in the book, but the examples can come in the past papers. Give some examples. These two are chemicals, and UV radiations are non-chemical locating agent. Okay, now we'll do questions. There are 3 questions in the middle of this chapter. The previous chapter questions are not included, so only 4, 5, and 6. These middle the questions which are in the middle of the chapter, they are included. Okay, and I will send you the answer key for these questions, so no need to do them in copy. In copy, we will only do exam style questions. So the first one, a simple chromatogram from a red marker pen showed 2 dots in a vertical line. What does this tell you about the ink used in this pen? Hmm? A chromatogram, we put a red marker pen, okay, red color, and the chromatogram shows 2 spots of red color, right? 2 dots in a vertical line. So what does this tell you? It tells us that this red ink is composed of 2 shades. This red ink has two shades of red present. Okay, or you can say the 2 pigments of red color, 2 different pigments. That's why the two. So see, chromatography is not only about different colors; it can separate the shades also. Okay, lighter color, darker, more dark. Number 5, a student tried to separate some inks from a black marker pen using paper chromatography, but the ink remained on the baseline. Why did the ink not move? And what should be the student do to improve the experiment? First is, why did the ink not move? What? Maybe? Not enough water present? Not enough ink? Separate some ink from black paper using paper where the ink remained on the baseline. Means it did not move. The proper answer for this is that maybe the drop is insoluble in the solvent. The solvent which we are taking, the ink is insoluble in that. That's why it's not moving. Girls, are you getting it? Online girls?
Yes.
Ink, probably it is. The ink is insoluble in a solvent, the solvent which the student used. So what should the student do to improve the experiment? They should change the solvent. They should use another solvent. Okay, we discussed it in one of the topic that there are different solvents. So we have organic solvents, inorganic solvents. So if a student is using water, so he or she can try to switch the solvent from water to any alcohol, or they can use any ketone, the propanone, which I told you, that propanone is also used as a solvent. Okay, he or she can use ethanoic acid. Okay, so try to change if this type of question comes, then write that changing the solvent might work. Hmm. He told us that when we are making experiment, you have to make the pigment. Pigments? That the pigment that you have used. Like a black ink. And we must have not put enough black ink on the paper. No, but it should spread, no? If it is soluble in water, then it should spread a little bit. It should show some signs that it is soluble. But if it's not moving at all from the baseline, not spreading, not smudging, anything, so it means that it's insoluble.
Teacher, in this answer, do we have to write that you can change the water to alcohol or propane or ethanoic acid?
Yeah, the proper answer is, because here it is not mentioned that which solvent they are using. Okay, so just write that changing the solvent or change the solvent. These are the examples which I gave you. Okay, that if the student is using water, then they should change the water, switch the solvent. Okay, use another solvent.
Okay.
Yes, now tell me. Ink is a mixture. Like when we perform the chromatography, if there are different colors, so it means it's a mixture. If it shows different colors or different shades, it means a mixture. There is a question like this, I think. Yeah, here, let's see. Okay. Yeah, this one, that see, what does this tell you in question number 4? What does this tell you about the ink used? So it means that red ink is also a mixture, no? Mixture of different shades of red. So this is a sign. So if it shows different things, different pigments, so it means that it's a mixture. Okay, question number 6 is, when analyzing a chromatogram, the distance moved by the solvent from the baseline was 2.8 centimeter and the distance traveled by the sample was 2.3 centimeter. Calculate the RF value for this compound to 2 decimal places. Yeah, this part is simple. Okay, calculate the RF value. For the RF value, the formula, who remembers the formula?
It's the number of
It's atomic mass into number of.
Is
Yes.
it multiplied or divided by the number of molecules present?
No, not the number of molecules. RF value.
Okay.
Okay, not the RAM. Retention factor. Distance moved by the substance divided by distance moved by the solvent front. Okay, this is the formula of chromatography. So RF value said the distance moved by the solvent from the baseline is 2.8, means by the solvent, okay, 2.8 denominator, and the distance traveled by the sample means the substance, 2.3. What's the RF value? Calculate. Yes, online girls. Then we'll move to the next part. It's okay. Let me
Yes.
get 0.82. Okay, up to 2 decimals we have to write. So 0.82. For RF value, yeah, there is no unit because it's a ratio of two distances. So 2.3 centimeter and 2.8 centimeter. So centimeter will cancel out. So yeah, and no unit. Okay, so RF value has no unit. So you must know that why RF value has no unit, because it's a ratio of two distances. Okay, so numerator denominator distances, distance will cancel them, cancel the unit.
Miss,
Yes.
we'll have to write two decimal places if we write for any other, so our answer will be wrong.
Yeah, because it's mentioned in the question. Okay. So,
Okay.
but if it is not mentioned, then it's like you can write by 0.8 also, if it's not mentioned. But it's written, so it means that you have to write 2 units.
Okay.
Okay. Using the same ink, but a larger piece of chromatography paper. Same ink. Okay, we are using the same piece of means we are using the same ink. It is showing only one spot, okay, which is 2.3 centimeter. But the larger piece of chromatography paper, the solvent front had traveled 9.7. Now this time the solvent front is 9.7 centimeter. Okay, this is the solvent this time. Predict to 1 decimal place the distance moved by the sample. Distance moved by the sample means this thing we have to calculate now. Okay, the numerator. 9.2. No, we will calculate. An RF value will remain the same. Okay, 0.82 will remain the same because we are using the same ink. So RF value will be 0.82. Okay, and this sample, one distance traveled by the sample, we have to find out. So we'll take it on the other side. 0.82 multiplied by 9.7 is equal to distance traveled by the solvent. Sorry, distance traveled by the substance or sample. So what is it? Got it? Because we are using the same ink, so RF value will be the same. But we are using a larger piece of chromatography, so distance traveled by the ink will be different. Maybe it will move more up. It moved more up. Yes, girls, multiply.
It will be 7.9.
It will be
7.9.
7.9. Yeah, you can round it off also. 7.9, so it will be 8.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, distance traveled by the sample. And what will be the unit? Yeah, because it's distance. Okay. Yeah, you can write 7.9 centimeter or 8 centimeter if you round off. Okay, so these are the 3 questions. After that, we'll discuss exam style questions. Okay, there are I think 4 or 5 exam style questions. 423. Okay. All of you just read and tell me the answer of the first one. Try. How many different red dyes were present?
I think 4.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what do you think, girls? The online girls, some are saying 4. Hmm. Yeah, these are different orange sweets. They are showing these colors. Okay, but see, red pigment is the same. These two are the same. So the answer is 2. Okay, 2 are present. These two are the same. It means that sweet 1 and sweet 3 contain same red color. Okay, and see, sweet 2, sweet 3 contain same red shade, but these two are different shades. So total 2 red dyes are present. If they ask you for total dyes which are present, so you will say 3. Okay, 2 shades of red and 1 shade of yellow. Okay, total pigments are 3, but red shades are 2. Got it, girls? Okay,
Yes.
now question number 2. The diagrams A to F in the figure show the stages in an experiment to separate a mixture of copper sulfate and copper oxide and prepare clean dry crystals of copper sulfate. Okay, now we have a mixture. Okay, they are saying that we have we are doing the experiment of separation of CuSO4, copper sulfate and copper oxide. These two are solids, powders. Okay, so we have to select a technique that select or choose a suitable solvent in which one of it is dissolved, one of it is soluble and the other one is insoluble. Okay, remember we use that technique to separate the two solids like sand and salt. So selecting a suitable appropriate solvent. These two are powders and we have to separate them. But first let's see what are they asking. Name the two pieces of apparatus in D.
That's tripod stand in evaporating dish.
Yeah. Evaporating dish
And tripod stand.
and tripod stand. No. Evaporating because it's evaporation happening here. Tripod stand and evaporating dish. The experiment would not work if the different steps were in this order. Okay, A, B, C, then D, then E, then F. So experiment will not occur if this is this order. Using the letters A to F, place the diagrams in the correct order. Okay, so we have to select the correct order. First of all, we have to separate them. Then we have to make crystals of copper sulfate, okay, as mentioned in the question. So first we will select a solvent. The solvent would be water. You know why? Which thing is soluble in water? Which one is soluble in water? Can you identify or guess? Copper sulfate is soluble in water or copper oxide?
Copper sulfate.
Copper sulfate. Copper sulfate because it's blue color. Blue color. It makes blue color crystals. Huh? No, with water because selecting and if we have mixture of two solids like salt and sand, we did this we studied this now that if we have two powders, then we will select the appropriate solvent in which one of it is soluble and one of it is insoluble, so we can filter it. Okay, so for this one also we chose water. So salt is soluble in water and sand remain insoluble, so we can filter and separate the sand first. Okay, and salt water we can evaporate the water, so we'll get the salt. So in this way we can separate the two solids from each other. Okay, this is the same thing. So now we have two solids, copper sulfate and copper oxide. But is insoluble in water. Okay, it will not be soluble. So we will filter it. So first step will be that we will take a mixture. A is the first step.
Which
Then
mixture?
we will, huh? What we will do after?
Copper sulfate or copper oxide?
Copper sulfate is soluble, beta. Copper sulfate is soluble in water and copper oxide is insoluble. Very good. We'll add water and stir. So copper sulfate will dissolve. Okay. We will add water and stir. Copper sulfate will dissolve. It's soluble. Okay. And the one which is insoluble, we will filter it to remove. So what is the step of filtration? F. Good. F is for filtration. Filtration is happening here now. We will filter it. So insoluble copper oxide will stay on the filter paper and copper sulfate solution will go down in the filtrate. Okay. So in this way we can separate one thing. Copper oxide will be separated out in filtration. So A, C, F. No. After that, now copper oxide is separated. Okay. Then in the filtrate, we have copper sulfate. Now we will make the crystals of copper sulfate. Okay, so from the solution of copper sulfate, we will make crystals. So we have a solution. Okay, we will heat it now so that the water will evaporate. Okay, I will tell you about B. I'll tell you. Huh? No. Just like order A, C, F, D. Okay, so D is the next step. We will evaporate it. Water will evaporate. Okay, we will be left with crystal. Like some crystals will start to form of copper sulfate. Okay. Then, if you remember, we filter it twice in filtration, in crystallization. When I told you the steps of filtration, crystallization, there were two filtration steps. We will filter once first to remove the impurities. Here the impurities copper oxide which we removed in first filtration. Okay. The second filtration I told you that if we have any extra chemical present or extra water present, so we will filter it to remove it, to remove the water. Okay. So then we will do B. Okay. And we will put some amount of distilled water to remove the extra chemical which is present on the crystals. Okay, so we will filter it and we'll get crystals on the filter paper, crystals of copper sulfate. Okay, so B is the next step, and in the end we will dry them. So which one is left? E. Need to dry on the filter paper. Okay, so this is the order. That's why I told you the steps. Where the steps were not mentioned in the book, in the topic. Okay, but I wrote the extra points just to make sure that you know the steps. These type of questions can come.
Miss?
In
exam, if like questions like this come, so how will we know that this substance is soluble and this is not? We have to learn them.
Salts are soluble mostly. Most of the salts are soluble. So here the salt is copper sulfate. Copper oxide is not a salt. Oxides are bases or acids. Okay, remember, like if you know the metal oxides, okay, I'll just tell you the metal oxides, they are bases. So copper oxide is a base. So some of the bases are soluble, some are insoluble. That you will study in acid-base chapter. Okay, and the non-metal oxides, they make acids. They're acidic in nature. Okay, non-metal oxides are acidic, and the compounds which are made from metals and non-metals. Okay, like copper sulfate. Copper is a metal, and sulfur oxygen is a non-metal. So compounds which are made from metals and non-metals, they are salts, and salts are mostly soluble in water. Okay, like copper sulfate. If you have like this magnesium nitrate, so magnesium nitrate is also a salt because magnesium is a metal, and NO, they are non-metals. Okay, they are salts. So wherever salts are present, salts are mostly soluble. Okay, now what color would the solution be in beaker in C? Here is C. Yeah, add water and huh?
Is it blue color?
Awesome, good. Which one will dissolve? Copper sulfate will dissolve, right? So what will be the color? The color of copper sulfate is blue.
Blue.
Very good, very common. Copper sulfate is blue in color. Blue. They will not give. No, then they will. Then like there will be a table because in papers of the school we don't give anything which is not from the book. So if there is a table of colors, then we will give. Otherwise, we will not give. But copper sulfate is common. You are studying it from like copper sulfate, and you should know about KMNO4 also. Yeah, it's purple in color. Yeah, that's it. No, no, he will not give. Otherwise, it will be an issue for the teachers why they give this type of question. Out of syllabus question.
Teacher? Teacher, are you saying something?
I don't remember. Okay. It's gonna reload and then it's gonna press it up and then it's gonna come connected.
No internet. But why is connected then?
How are you in the? Can you hear them?
Girls, can you hear me? Say something.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Oh, they
We
can hear.
can hear you all laughing.
It's connected now.
Oh, yeah, connected.
Okay. Next question. Why was the mixture stirred with water and not acid?
Copper sulfate is soluble in water and in copper.
Yeah. No, see, if we use acid, then
Teacher, your voice completely disappears.
Teacher is gone.
Aisha?
Yeah.
Yeah, teachers know these things. Like in tests and in papers also, like students can Google very easily. Like, yeah, obviously. And they exchange the answers also. Like, we know these things. It's obvious.
Eating is so common in the
Yeah.
told me that in his biology exam, a question was asked which was not mentioned in the book, and teacher never explained it. But more than half the class got it. The name of teacher that you want to teach it.
Okay, girls, are you here? Or am I there? Rejoin.
Teacher, sometimes your voice just disappears.
Yeah, the internet issue. Internet
And then
focus.
when it comes back, all we hear is laughing. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, the girls were telling me about the online classes and online tests that students teach in online classes, and I said I know. Okay, is the screen visible? Screen. Girls?
It is.
Okay. Okay, for the last question, for the D part, did you get that why we are not using acid?
No.
Okay, if we use acid, then copper oxide will also dissolve in it. Okay, that's why we are not using it. We won't be able to separate them. Yes, good. Okay, girls, we have to select a solvent in which one of it is soluble and the other one is insoluble, so we can filter and separate it. Okay, but if we use an acid, then copper oxide will also dissolve. Copper sulfate will dissolve and copper oxide, both of them will dissolve, and we won't be able to separate them. Okay, that's why we are not using acid.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay, you can leave.
And it found out that she was watching dramas, Pakistani dramas, and she was when she and her camera was also open. And when we all looked at her like, okay, that was an exam.
Oh my God.
I don't know why. And then everyone was looking at her like, and everyone in my class was talking about it. And I was so. The worst part of online classes is when you're talking to your parents or somebody and your mic. Yeah. Yes. And even if you have a clear camera.
Allah Hafiz, girls. The online girls, you can go. Leave.
Allah Hafiz.
So we'll do the next
Allah
questions
Hafiz.
in next week then.
Okay. So if you want to do your test,
Huh?
please make it after Sunday, any day after.
Yeah, at the end, maybe the last class of next week.
Oh, okay, that would probably be. Or do we have?
No, Wednesday.
Okay, so Wednesday. Okay, thank you.
Allah Hafiz.